All right, welcome in everybody to the High Noon Rant. Well, it is kind of high noon today. It's the rant, the news rant. I am certain that one of the reasons that we struggle with this, the growth of this show, after 3 years of doing it every day, convinced it's because I can't even come up with a solid name. Is it the rant? Is it the news rant? Is it the high noon rant? I don't know. It's radiomisfits.com, live from the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios here in the beautiful E Gallery in Dallas's fabulous design district. We do this every day, Monday through Friday, around about noon. We talk about current events. We talk about pop culture. We talk about whatever the headlines and the big breaking news of the day is. It's talk radio that doesn't seem to have a home in terrestrial radio. It's talk radio that isn't beholden to any one political party. It's not any one worldview. It's just a show for the normal people who like to listen to people who, can see a little bit on all sides and thinks you're all nuts. All right, let's say hi to the chat room. Who do we got in the chat room? Again, I'm having real problems. I need the first group of people in the chat room to let me know if you have, in fact, received notifications of this show. The new Restream software is driving me insane. Every day I get a little more comfortable with it, but man, did you receive notification of this show? I scheduled the show at like 10:30 today, far earlier than I typically do. So let me know. And then let me know where you got it. Did you get it on Facebook? Did you get it on YouTube? Kojak out here in these streets telling me I need to start a Discord, which I don't know. Discord, Twitch. I mean, that seems where everybody is. I don't know. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. Not on Twitter anymore. Because again, tell you why I'm not on Twitter. Not on Twitter because I won't pay for a blue check. Because I will not pay $10 a month to a billionaire for something that was free. And the only reason it's not free anymore is because this guy absurdly overpaid for this little ego platform, which he now, I don't know, depending on who you ask, is ruining or making great again. I don't know. Just depends on who you ask. But because of this, there's no longer streaming on the Twitter platform. So I don't know. All right, let's say hi to everybody. We got Frankie in here. Hi, Frankie. We got Cliff. We've got Mikey D. We got Byron. We've got Tanny. Okay, I want to make sure I get all of these names. Frankie B, of course. Who else do we got? All right, he just got the notification now. All right, Mike says 12:04 got it on YouTube. Byron says he just got it now. Where, Byron? Where? Which one? Did you get notified by YouTube or Facebook? Mikey got one just now. Peter says, I've not been receiving notifications all week. Have to keep looking till you come on. Well, that is no way to grow a show. This is going to be a problem. All right, that's okay. Here's what we're going to get into today. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff on today's show. We're going to talk about the DNC last night. We'll get into that. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. I'm telling you, man, they should have just boarded up shop after they did that roll call thing the other night. That was the height. You can't peak on Tuesday, people. You can't peak on Tuesday. All right, so we'll get into all of that. What else do we got? We've got to cover this news story out of Texas. Apparently, there's some issue with people wanting to change their gender while driving. I don't know. I think when you start your journey, you should probably finish it as the same. Whoa, it's not about that. Oh, it's about people who transition and then they want to get their license. Oh, okay. So we'll talk about that. I don't have a real firm grasp of that subject, so be ready to be either offended or entertained. I don't know. It's your choice. That is your choice after what I say on the subject. Let's see here. What else do we got? Shroud of Turin. We're going to talk about that too. You know the Shroud of Turin? I got to take on this stupid thing that's been around my entire life. I'm Catholic. We've heard about the Shroud of Turin since I'm in second grade. Well, there's big breaking news regarding the Shroud of Turin. What is the Shroud of Turin? Well, it's the blanket that they covered up Jesus in. Or faulty contention. I know. If the jumping off point of this supposedly fact-based news story is something that cannot be factually verified, it's just a matter of faith, then, that's a little bit shoddy to begin with. But okay, we're going to talk about the Shroud of Turin and the big breaking news surrounding that. Flag football. We're talking about flag football. Some dude who's really good at flag football who nobody's ever heard of is out there talking shit on Patrick Mahomes. So that guy's now a thing. We'll discuss him as well, and we'll hear from him. Looks like Colin Kaepernick. How'd that hit you? What was your first reaction when I said Colin Kaepernick? That says a lot about who you are. Yeah. Maybe you thought, oh, that must mean he's good at football. Kaepernick was very good at football. He was good at football. All right, not gonna go there. Not gonna go into the whole Colin Kaepernick thing. I heard my boy James on WBAP every day, 2 to 3. This is why James needs me as a partner. And I'm serious. Every day I listen to it because I should be, although they wouldn't allow it. They wouldn't allow me as a partner because I sit there, I listen to James every day, as you people should too, and I just yell at his stupid shit. I just yell back at him. And there used to be a time when James and I did Pugs and Parker at 9 o'clock where I could yell at him and then he'd respond. And guess what? I think it made for a funnier show. But whatever. He's doing great. Be listening to James today, I believe at 4:30. E, the artist, the proprietor here at the beautiful E Gallery Studio, is going to be on in one of his expert capacities. So you'll want to check that out at 4:30. What expert capacity could E, the artist, be speaking on today at 4:30 on WBAP with James Parker? Tune in to find out. But it's funny. It's funny. It's something we've talked about in the past with him. All right, so all of that, plus at the end of today's show, we're going to do some video breakdowns. I have found a number of videos that I'm going to go all I'm going to go all trad mail. I'm going to go all traditional mail on you. They are videos of wives doing wively things, and I've got some takes. That's right. The middle-aged narcissist who's twice divorced has some takes on videos of wives being poor in their wively duties. All right. Short of that, we're just going to free ball it here today. So what do you mean fix the mic? What? Hi, Diana. Okay, so the mic needs to be fixed. Mother fudger. Shouldn't be. Nope, the mics are all fine. The mics are all the way they should be. See, I used to be able to test all the mics before Restream changed their software. Now I don't know how to do that anymore. No, that's going to be like a whole weekend dedicated to figuring out how to punch one button. All right, so I got to fix the mic. Fix the mic, please. Hi, Cam. I'm sorry. People are sneaking into the chat room. All right, I don't know. I really don't know what this. Hold on. Connect default speakers. Here we go. All right. Mic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Does this sound better? It's not a computer issue, but I appreciate the help. All right, does this sound better? If it doesn't, I'm just going to start the show over. I'm just going to end this. I'm going to do a recording. I'm going to make sure everything sounds right. We're now waiting to see if the microphone has been fixed after I changed it up a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Okay, I hate this delay. Yes, what? Byron, yeah, what? Sounding better. There we go. Thank you, April. Yes, Byron's like, yeah. I'm like, yes to what, man? Yes, it sounds better. That's what I was looking for. All right. Thank you all so much. Appreciate you. Let's see here. What do we got to get into? Oh, okay. So here's a little something that y'all need to be reminded of, because I got to tell you, folks, this has been rough. It has been difficult, and I'm just going to mention it, and I haven't been able to mention it. But as we like to say on this show has been around for 3 years. It exists entirely due to your funding of this show. You tip the show after every show. That's what you do. That's how we stay in business. You can drop a little something in the Venmo. You can drop a little something in the Cash App. Now, I mention this because I haven't mentioned it in almost 2 weeks. It has been 2 weeks of promoting other things that you guys have been so incredibly wonderful for. But God damn, man. Thank you to Barney. Barney is the only person who has tipped this show. And He knows what he tipped. So that's what the show has basically made me to be able to live on: food, gas, that kind of stuff. I mean, and so we're in like real trouble here. And I hate to bring this up because of what we all just went through collectively, but holy fuck, does that mean that I don't get to eat dinner? The business model of the show still compels me to have to mention that if you can drop a little something, please tip the show. We've received one tip since I think it was the 10th. I think it was Leslie who gave us a really nice tip on the 10th. And that's it. Just Barney. Barney, you're so wonderful. Thank you. But Barney, you can't live on that. So if you can, man, it's been really rough these past 2 weeks. All right. That's a nice sound. That's an awful sound. That's why. That's not going to help fund the show. All right. Sounds good. All right, what do you say we get started? What do we do on this show? We bring you up to date on all of the things that people are talking about, all the nonsense. It's designed to just be a listen for you. You put it on, it's on your laptop, it's on your phone, it's in your car, whatever it is. You just go about your business. You don't have to look at me. In fact, I would suggest you don't look at me. But throughout the course of this show, which is performed in what I call a stream of consciousness, which is me just ranting. It's just everything that's next on deck in my head to be said out loud. Boom, get shot out of the cannon. And after I am done and completely physically and emotionally exhausted from putting on the performance that you're about to all be dazzled by, I end the show. 2 hours. You should be completely prepped up on everything. I told you some of the things that we're going to talk about. We do the show in 4 quarters. First quarter is a segment I call Antecedently on This Day. That is a look back at all of the things that have helped shape our understanding of this day. It's essentially just this day in history, but I gave it a fancy name because I'm a pretentious fuck. After that, we do birthdays. You know what that is because you're not stupid. If you were stupid, you wouldn't be interested in hearing current events commentary. Quarter 3 is the deads. These are people who died on this day. Now, this is a little bit fun. We go through the history books. We look at people who passed away on this day, and we decide where they go, heaven or hell, right? That's what we do. We sit in judgment. That brings us to quarter 4. Quarter 4 is the bulk of the show. It's where we do all the hot topics, current events, and all that good stuff. So what do you say we get started here? Once again, I remind you that if you can help out the show, please do. Please do. It's been a really bad couple of weeks. Birthday money is long gone. All right, let's get into it. It is the 22nd day of August, year of our Lord, 2024. It is the 235th day of the year. That means how many? Quick math till the end of the year. 131 days. 235 in and 131 left. All right, because a leap year. I know that, but Pugs, it's 300. It's leap year. There's 366 days this year. Let's do quarter 1. We call this Antecedently on This Day, or if you like, we can just call it Previously on April the 22nd. Here we go. On this day in 1902, antecedently speaking, the Cadillac Motor Company is founded. Cadillac used to mean something, man. You know what happened with Cadillac? Jimmy Carter letting all them Japanese cars. Jimmy Carter letting all. That's basically what happened. We had an American car that was considered. We had a Coke. We had a Coca-Cola of American luxury auto vehicles. We had a Coke, and that was Cadillac. And then we had a Pepsi, and that was Lincoln to a lesser degree. Cadillac meant something. Boy, when you were a little kid in the 1970s and the big black Cadillac drove down your street, you knew that was an important man. Now it's all BMWs and Cybertrucks and F-350s and ugh. I hearken for the day of the big black Cadillac. Although not really, because Cadillac hasn't made a cool car in forever. And, okay, they connected with the rap community with their Escalade, but really, other than that, man, if I'm going to get a really nice SUV, it's probably going to be like there's probably some really nice Toyotas or some Lexuses out there or something, unfortunately. Hey, you opened up the doors to foreign cars, and we got to see what other people were working on, and guess what? Sometimes other countries, they make things that are cool, and we want them. Look at the cyber. Look at Tesla. Consider that a South African country. Yeah, why not? Or a company. Antecedently on this day in 1922, the great Michael Collins, the George Washington of Ireland. Michael Collins, commander-in-chief of the Irish Free State, is shot dead in an ambush during the Irish Civil War on this day. Great Michael Collins. A descendant of mine, Liam Tobin, was there with him and escaped with his life. Liam Tobin was the intelligence director for the Irish Free State, and he was basically the chief spook in charge for Michael Collins during the Civil War. We're related to him. We're just going to say we're related to him. He comes from the same place that I was able. He has the same name and comes from the same town, St. Aubin, that I can trace my family back to. But I don't get any, they, might be like a distant, whatever, it doesn't matter. As far as my 15-year-old son goes, he had a relative who fought bravely and valiantly and with heavy influence in the Irish Civil War. That's what we're going with. But it was on this day in 1922 that the great Michael Collins died. If you've never seen the film Michael Collins, it stars Liam Neeson. It is truly a great historical war movie about the Irish Free State. It's just so good. And I don't know if you have to be Irish to really love it. I do. It's a top 10 movie for me. I know you're probably thinking, Pugs, you say that so much. You must have 75 top 10 movies. I probably do. A lot of ties. All right, let's keep going. Antecedently on this day, we'll move forward. The year is 1989, and look at this one. Here's a good one. Nolan Ryan strikes out Ricky Henderson to become the first Major League Baseball pitcher to record 5,000 strikeouts. That's a lot. Have you seen Facing Nolan yet on Netflix? It's a documentary about Nolan Ryan and what it was like to face him. Woo, that's a bad man. It's a bad man. And I'll tell you, when I'm making meatballs, and I don't know if you know this about me, but I am an incredible maker of the meatball. By the way, if anybody wants to back me, I think that there is a food truck that just does meatballs. I think that's a thing. And I think we call it Pugs Balls. And I drive around and I make you meatball sandwiches made with my meatball. My meatballs are so good. But you know why they're so good? Because I use Nolan Ryan ground beef. That's my preferred. Nolan Ryan ground beef with some ground pork. That's not a big secret to making good meatballs, but that's what I do. I'm not going to tell you what my secret is. But, all right, on this day, Nolan Ryan, 5,000 strikeouts. That's incredible. Antecedently on this day in 2007, another thing that's just incredible, and I remember when this happened, although the details escape me, but I wonder if it's on YouTube. I would imagine it probably is in some form. I would like to watch this again because this is the way that I would like all baseball games to be played. On this day in 2007, Texas Rangers defeat the Baltimore Orioles 30-3. It's the most runs scored by a team in modern Major League Baseball history. 30 runs crossed the plate in that game. Oh, my God, what a good game. What a good game. That was on this day antecedently in 2007. All right, folks, that's going to do it for the antecedently portion of the show. Let's do quarter two, birthdays. Talk about people born on this day. Born on this day in 1934, how about Sir Norman Schwarzkopf? I know we don't bestow the honorary knight titles here in this country, but he probably would have that if he's a general. Schwarzkopf, I don't know what Schwarzkopf's deal was. There was like a 20-year period of time in America where we didn't have any real generals that we celebrated. Most of the generals that were left over had Vietnam War stink, and Schwarzkopf had some Vietnam War stink, but he wasn't carrying the Westmoreland stink or any of that. So around the time that we invaded Desert Storm, no, this was Desert Shield. The first one part one was Desert Shield. So when we did Desert Shield in response to the Iraqis invading Kuwait, Norman Schwarzkopf was the dude in the television era. He was the first real modern television era general. He was out there and he was wearing his uniform. He was wearing camouflage and he was in a tent somewhere with media and he got charts. He became a star. He's a great general. I don't know. Is he a great general? I don't know. Schwarzkopf really all that tested? I mean, we're not talking about Patton or Bradley or anybody like that, right? I mean, we're not talking about Grant turning the tide of the Civil War. Schwarzkopf, he was just, he was next man up. We put him on TV. We say he's a general. treat them well. So we liked him. All right, Norman Schwarzkopf. He was born on this day in 1934. Let's do something we did yesterday. Now, we're going to do a couple of these birthdays out of order, but just because I want to do this again. Yesterday, we did an installment of Kiss, Marry, Kick, which is the old F, Marry, Kill bit from Stern's show, but I've made it more friendly so you can play it with your kids. Kiss, Marry, Kick. I'm going to give you 3 names of people celebrating birthdays today. We did it yesterday. I'll give you 3 names of people celebrating birthdays today. And we have to decide which one we are going to kiss, which one we are going to marry, and which one we're going to kick to the curb. Okay? So here we go. 3 people celebrating birthdays today. Kiss, marry, kick. First one, born in 1939, Valerie Harper. She was Rhoda. She was the mom from the Hogan family. She was Mary Tyler Moore's best friend. Valerie Harper, born on this day in 1939. Our first person playing Kiss, Marry, Kick. Born on this day in 1947, contestant number 2 comes to us also from the world of television. How about Cindy Williams, a.k.a. Shirley Feeney of Laverne and Shirley? She is contestant number 2 in Kiss, Marry, Kick. Valerie Harper being 1, Cindy Williams, Rhoda versus Shirley. Who'd you rather? Oh, but wait, we've got one more because there are 3 people here. Born on this day in 1963, the final contestant in today's Kiss, Marry, Kick contest. Ladies and gentlemen, happy birthday to American singer-songwriter, pianist, and just all-around buzzkill, Tori Amos. That's right, Little Earthquakes, Tori Amos. Ugh. All right, let's decide. Kiss, marry, kick. One of these women, we're gonna have to kiss. One of these marry, we're gonna have to wait. One of these women, we're gonna have to kiss. One of these women, we're gonna have to marry, and one of these women, we're gonna have to kick to the curb. It's Valerie Harper, aka Rhoda. It's Cindy Williams, aka Shirley Feeney, and it's Tori Amos, aka. All right, right off the top, let's get rid of her. Tori Amos. She gets kicked. She is no fun to anyone, anywhere. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. What's that, Tori? You want to talk about being raped again? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, she's going to the piano. Oh, my God. She's turned her rape story into a Christmas song. Tori Amos is a bummer. I dated a girl in college who was way into Tori Amos. And it was just like, nope. So she's getting kicked because she's no fun, and this is a fantasy game. So why would we introduce somebody who's no fun? That brings us down to Rhoda, Valerie Harper, and Cindy Williams, Shirley Feeney from Laverne and Shirley. One of those we got to kiss, and one of them we got to marry. This is really hard for me because I think I would be better in a relationship with Rhoda than I would with Shirley Feeney. I think Shirley Feeney is way too passive, but I've also never been attracted to Shirley Feeney, so I'm not really jazzed up about kissing her. Rhoda was kind of hot. Rhoda was kind of hot, man. It was something. Have you ever seen like Valerie Harper back then? She wasn't Mary Tyler Moore. You know, she was kind of the edgy friend of Mary Tyler Moore, who was perfect, who would not be, there'd be no question you'd marry Mary Tyler Moore. You'd also kiss Mary Tyler Moore. And, you'd never do anything to upset Mary Tyler Moore because you want to keep her happy because she's good. Valerie Harper, though. Rhoda or Cindy? Guys, chat room, help me out. Al says Valerie marry, Cindy kiss, Tori kick. Oh, boy. Frank's talking about Norman Schwarzkopf. Don't want to get into it, Frank. Not interested. Yeah, okay, we're going to marry Rhoda, and we're just going to kiss Shirley Feeney. There we go. That's today's version of Kiss, Marry, Kick. What else do we have here? Let's see. Born on this day in 1958, Vernon Reid. Vernon Reid of Living Color. Oh, fuck. The show was In Living Color. The band is Living Color. There you go. My 15-year-old loves Living Color. My 15-year-old, man, he loves Cult of Personality, and why not? That is an all-time great rock song. But do you remember, if you're being honest with yourself, do you remember when you hipped your friends to In Living Color, the first thing that you said? The first thing you said after letting them listen to it for a bit was, and they're black. That was a big deal. In Living Color playing that kind of music as a bunch of black dudes. That, I mean, there had been bands before. There had been black rock bands before. But Living Color in the age of MTV, they really sort of kicked that door down to allow absolutely nobody to follow them. Nobody. That was it. They were it. They were it. So they shattered that glass ceiling and absolutely nothing happened. It was just that all the black kids were still doing rap, and Living Color became a novelty. Anyway, Vernon Reid, by the way, also it should be mentioned about Vernon Reid, incredibly gifted guitar player, one of the best of the era, without question. Born on this day in 1967, Lane Staley. Allison Chains Lane Staley. That dude, man. That dude went out like a rock star. That dude died in a junkie apartment, and nobody found him because, he didn't keep in touch with anybody, and he was a junkie, and he had money to be a junkie because he was a rock star. And he died in his junkie apartment, and his cats ate him. Ugh. So how long was he there? How long? I need to know. I've never had this answered. I need to know how long before the cats started eating him. Because I promise you, if he had dogs, while the cats started eating him, the dogs were like, it's way too soon, man. It is way, you're not even hungry. You just ate. We can still get the refrigerator open. You don't have to eat him. And I do. I think the cats just went, he hasn't moved in a good 20 minutes. Let's start eating him. Because that's what cats are. Cats are evil little serial killers that we let into our house. All right, Lane Staley, dead on this day in 1967. Or dead on this day, sorry. Born on this day in 1967. He would die in 2002. Born on this day in 1973. Ooh, I might say something here that I don't know, but this is what a stream of consciousness is. It's just whatever is in the back of my head. I might say something that I don't know that I can walk back. But born on this day in 1973, the greatest, second greatest. I won't even say greatest. Second greatest female performer in Saturday Night Live history. Born on this day in 1973. Am I talking about Kristen Wiig? Oh, man, I know. There are some women that are funny on Saturday night. You got to deal with your Polars. You got to deal with your Mayas. You got to deal with, who else you got to deal with? Okay, so that's it. But I don't know who else. I'm trying to think of. Don't be throwing no Rachel Dratch at me. She was a spare. Who else was good? Oh, who was the chick? The bad chick. She's a bad chick. She was bad in high school. She got kicked out of a bunch of Catholic girl high schools. What was her name? The dark-haired one. We're going to call her Brenda Smart. It's something like that. It's a name like that. It's a name like Brenda Strong. Cecily Strong. There you go. I got to it. She's good. She's really good. But I think Kristen Wiig might be the second. She's probably as good as anybody has been on Saturday Night Live playing female characters as anybody has been since Gilda Radner. That's right. Gilda Radner's always going to be number one. Sorry. She was there first, and she set the template, and quite frankly, pound for pound, she's as good or better than everybody else that I've seen. But Kristen Wiig's really good. Kristen Wiig is really good. Who else am I missing? Kate? Nah. Barney's like Kate Maxim. No, she was a one-trick pony. She's corny. She's not funny. She doesn't. Kate McKinnon, right? That's her name. People love her. And I'm like, she's all right. She's okay. She's fine. She's female glue. She is not a star on the show. Female glue. Glue on Saturday Night Live is a term that's given to people who play a whole bunch of different types of characters and can really sort of, bring any scene together because if you need somebody to play this, they can do it, but they don't necessarily lead the scenes. They steal the scenes from time to time. That's what she is. She's not I don't hate her as much as my face probably says I do. I really don't. I'm just tired. People think she's so great and I don't get it. Who else was that woman? That woman that everybody thought was great on Saturday Night Live. And I was like, she does nothing except the exact same thing every time. And you people are telling me that Leslie Jones is a treasure? Holy cow. Leslie Jones might be the worst female. Well, Demetra Vance was pretty lame. I am expert level when it comes to talking about Saturday Night Live, and you better respect my opinions. Byron says Ellen Cleghorn was funny. No, she wasn't. No, she wasn't. Ellen Cleghorn wasn't funny. You know who is funny? Okay, so who's the other girl that's on there now who's got a difficult name, but man, is she one of the funniest? Ellen Cleghorn. No, not Ellen Cleghorn. What? Ego Wodum. Ego Wodum is so funny. Oh my God, does she kill me? She's great. She's one of my all-time favorites. She's a top. She might be a top 15 all-time, regardless of gender, but she's definitely top 5 female. She makes me laugh every time she comes. She's like, she gets that mad thing. She's funny. Al says Rachel Dratch. Nah, she sucked. I thought Rachel Dratch was a total spare. She was too, I don't know, just none of her characters appealed to me. They were all like, okay. And I know she's a big Second City product, but every once in a while, Second City gives you a Tim Meadows or a Tim Kazurinsky or a Rachel Dratch, one that isn't really, anything to write home about. Peter Lufkin says Supermarket Sweep was a bomb for Leslie Jones. Don't even know what that is. Frank mentions Sarah Sherman, who's one of the new Saturday Night Live personalities. Sarah Sherman. I think it is way too early to even consider Sarah Sherman in any of these lists where we're talking about people who did multiple seasons of Saturday Night Live. Sarah Sherman is good though. I think there's promise there for her. She's funny. Sarah Sherman is she was very well known in underground comedy for a style of comedy that really isn't mainstream at all. But Saturday Night Live has put it on TV, and every time she does one of these versions of the style of comedy that she is known for, it's hysterical. And what is it called? Gore comedy? They call it gore comedy, or like gross out comedy, or whatever it is. Her whole bit is to just we're talking about Sarah Sherman. Her whole bit is to just be so gross that you're just like, ew. And it's funny. She does a lot of stuff where like body gore comedy, where like gaping wounds start to talk and stuff. Like that's her. She's the only one I've ever seen do it on this high of a level. But she's pretty good at it, and she was kind of the star of it. Peter says that Leslie Jones hosted that Supermarket Sweep as a game show up for ABC. All right, whatever. Happy birthday, Kristen Wiig, born on this day in 1973. I think you're brilliant. And unfortunately, the person that I rank above you died of breast cancer in front of the entire country, and we all cried together. She's our Lady Di of comedy. So, sorry, Kristen. You're going to have to be second to Gilda Radner. Born on this day in 1995. Here's somebody that I've been hearing about for a couple of years, but only within the last couple of months have I noticed, and I don't know what took me so long, because hubba. Happy birthday, Dua Lipa. I don't know what she does. She's got a weird name. Not really memorable for me, but again, I'm a Midwestern raised white middle-aged man. So, Dua Lipa, I don't know what that is. That sounds like something on the menu at Pepe's. There you go. Shout out to a fine Chicago Mexican chain. Dua Lipa. She's not even Mexican. Whatever. I don't know. She ain't Irish. And that name is exotic. So I don't know what she is. Spanish? Let's say she's Spanish. Because she's classy. Look at that. That was a shot at all my Mexican friends. I hope you appreciated it. It was all tongue-in-cheek. Dua Lipa, born on this day in 1995. She's a singer. And just so hot. Just cannot be denied. She is like, whoo. All right, that's going to do it for birthdays. Those are all your birthdays. Let's go to the dead people. These are folks who have died on this day, people who have died. Let's open up their life resume and decide whether they went to heaven or hell. First, dead on this day in 1977, Dude by the name of, this is such a bad dead list today. We're just going to rip through it. Sebastian Cabot. Sebastian Cabot died on this day in 1978. You know who he was? Probably not. There's probably like nobody that remembers the show Family Affair. No, that was My Three Sons. My Three Sons was. That was My Three Sons. Family Affair was. Was that Family Affair? I don't know. Whatever. Family Affair was the story of two lovely little kids, Buffy and Jody, whose parents must have suffered some absolutely tragic demise that has never really gone into in this 1970 sitcom. But these kids are taken out of their parents are gone. Don't know why. Yes, this is going to be Pugs' dark review of the 70s show Family Affair. So the kids are taken out of the home. I'm thinking double suicide by the parents, something really bad. And they are suddenly dropped, very similarly to Different Strokes, into the lap of their wealthy Uncle Bill, who is a Manhattan playboy. Yeah, Uncle Bill gets around. Uncle Bill's got a bachelor lifestyle. Uncle Bill's got money. I don't know what Uncle Bill does. Probably a Wall Street guy, but whatever. He's got this kick-ass apartment. And all of a sudden, he's got these two kids who have nothing but the trauma bond between them. And all of a sudden, he's got to stop dating supermodels and he's got to raise these kids. But see, Uncle Bill is smarter and he's a 1960s, 70s man. He doesn't change one goddamn thing about his life. He just brings in Sebastian Cabot, Mr. French. Mr. French is a butler. And he raises Buffy and Jody. He died on this day. We're putting him in heaven, Sebastian Cabot. Mr. French. Mr. French. How come Uncle Bill never hugs us? Because, young Jody, he doesn't appreciate you being a part of his life. Now shut up and go back to your room. Your room with the 15-foot windows of Central Park. I'm sure when little Buffy or little Jody woke up in the middle of the night screaming about missing their parents that Uncle Bill was there. No, it was Mr. French, who, if we're being honest, probably wasn't there either. But all right, that's gonna do it for where we're putting him. We're putting him in heaven. There you go, Sebastian Cabot, Mr. French, dead on this day in 1977, dead on this day in 2011. We're gonna put this guy in heaven too, because why not? Oh, why not? Well, here's why not. Because maybe if I looked into his past, I'd find all kinds of bad stuff. He was a soul singer in the 1970s and 60s, so I'm sure he got into some shit. But it was on this day in 2011 when Nick Ashford passed away. Nick Ashford. Ashford and Simpson. He doesn't have one hit. That's the thing. He got one hit. No, he's actually very successful, but just not in white guy suburban. He's got a long history as a successful producer and songwriter and singer in his own right. His wife, Valerie Simpson, they came together in the 70s. They formed Ashford and Simpson. And, of course, solid as a rock. That was their song. I'm putting him in heaven because that song still bangs. That song bangs. That's what this love is. And then he goes like this. The thrill is still hot. Ah, come on. He goes to heaven just for the thrill is still hot. I can't even do it. See? Because he's got talent. Talent gets you in heaven. All right, that's going to do it. There you go. One more time, folks. We're going to put this up here. And we're just going to look at it because don't know how I'm going to get home. Anyway, let's leave that up there. Just a reminder of how this shit gets done, okay? Help us out. It's been 2 weeks. We're literally dying. I got my Kindle. It's going to be a rough one. No, that's, actually, that is awesome. You know what? I got to tell you guys, can I brag a little bit before we go into the quarter four, which is all of the hot topics, current events, and all of that good stuff? Let me brag a little bit. Let me be a dad for you, okay? I hear being a dad is being received very well today. How's my dad? I'm gonna talk about that, I promise. But as a dad, let me tell you, let me brag a little bit. So my son, you may remember over the years, I've been telling you about how I've been trying to convince my son, who's a very good offensive center, he plays high school football. He's a very good offensive center. I've been telling him, dude, you got to be a long snapper. You got to be a long snapper. That's got to be a trick in your bag. Otherwise, you're just a center. And that's like, ugh. If another kid comes in who's a little bit bigger, they're going to get rid of you because he's also just a center. So what you need to do is you need to develop other skills. And by the way, if we're going to try and get you a scholarship here, and that's what we're all hoping for, because you need to have a bunch of stuff in your bag. So we started working on long snaps. We started working on not just shotguns and punts, but also holding and all those kinds of snaps. We worked our ass off all winter long because there was a promise on the table that if you could master this, we'd be talking about moving him up to varsity, which I'm not for. But as far as being a 15-year-old and having a developing ego, that is a pretty good thing, and it's a confidence builder. So, but I don't want him to do it. Anyway, point is this. We worked really hard at his snaps, and he got so good, man. He was spinning them. I mean, he was just these other kids out there at his level when they're doing long snaps. Sometimes they're going end over end. Sometimes they're off target. By the end of March, this kid was spinning bullets through his legs from 15 and 20 yards. He got it down. It's muscle memory at some point. It's hard at first. The first 1,000, they're going to look ugly and you're going to have no consistency. But that's what he learned. So then he goes in and football starts, and all of a sudden I'm noticing that we're not doing the long snapping anymore. I'm like, why aren't we long snapping? You're not done there. You didn't perfect it. You need to do it every single day. So, well, blah, 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 blah. So I get it out of him that apparently there's a new kid on the team who's a long snapper, who's coming in and specifically to be a long snapper. And I guess there was some level of, I don't know what it was, but my kid had resigned himself to the fact that after all of his work that he was not going to be the long snapper and that this new kid was just going to take it. So he did something that I do a lot, which is, well, okay, then never let on that upsets me. And if I don't compete for the job, then I can't fail at getting it. So I'm just not even going to try, and I'm just going to let him have it, right? And that's like, oh. So I saw that happening. I was very horrified because that's a trigger that I've done my whole life. Don't even try. I can't fail. They can't say, if they say that I failed, I can always say, oh, fuck you, I wasn't even trying. That is a really horrible mechanism that a lot of people have in their brains, and I am one of them, and I only work through that in therapy. So I was concerned when my son was kind of going that way. Get the call yesterday. Yeah, he's the starting long snapper. He beat that kid out. It wasn't even close, apparently. So thank you for allowing me to be a proud dad. He did it. He worked super hard. You guys saw the blisters on my fingers. I was like, man, we're out there doing these long, and he's working really hard at it. And then to see him suddenly think that all of his hard work was going to be wasted because there's somebody new, and he saw the challenge and was kind of like, man, I thought I was just going to get the job. Well, he did. He got it. You know why? Because he was better than this kid. Just better. I told you, my kid is like slinging darts back there through his legs, 10, 15 yards. I'm proud of him. So proud of him. All right, so there's that. What else do I need to mention? What's with kids not... Look, I talk all the time about the neighborhood that I live in. I am blessed. I am blessed to be able to live in a neighborhood that I have no business being in. But while I'm there, I'm going to take notes. And I'm going to notice the things that, just are not normal to normal people. When I say this, I live in a very affluent neighborhood. Again, don't belong there, but I'm happy to be there. I also live in a neighborhood where there's a school. There's a school right around the corner. And I don't understand why it is that kids, is this kids today, or is this just rich kids? Is this a rich kid thing? Or is this all kids today? Everybody gets dropped off and picked up from school by their mommies. We're talking like 12 and 13-year-olds climbing into mommy's car at the end of school. Do you know what it meant when I was in high school if you had your mommy drive you to school every day? It meant that you were going to catch a beating. It meant that you were a dork. It meant that you couldn't ride the bus because you were fresh chum. Now every kid, man, every morning I wake up, I have to wake. You know what time I have to wake up to walk the dog? I have to wake up at like 7:15 now to walk the dog, because if I wait any longer, the streets are just filled with cars dropping off their kids. Have a nice day, Tyler. I love you, Noah. And then they scamper off. What happened to buses? There are no buses? How are there no fucking buses? And how about this? How about that every kid in that neighborhood getting pedaled by mommy to school? Every one of them freaking kids lives within walking distance. They're not busing kids in from Richardson to attend this school. It's soft. You're making your kids up. Millennials. I'm talking to you millennials. I blame millennial parents. Millennial parents are the worst. I don't know. We Gen Z parents, look, our kids, most Gen Z or most Gen X parents, our kids are like 30 now. So whatever. We've made it through there. But these new little kids getting dropped off by mommy. I'll tell you when it started. You know when it started? It started when youth sports leagues began having breaks for orange slices and like Gatorade. Youth sports leagues. We never had that. I played youth sports. Maybe if we won, that's the thing. If we won, the coach might take us to 7-Eleven for Slurpees. But that's if we won. If we lost, it was like, you're walking home, loser. Keep your eye on the ball next time. Now everybody gets orange slices, and millennials. I blame millennials. I think they did that. I think millennials had that. And then I think now they're doing it. They're upping the game. They're upping the what do they call it? Hover parents. And when I was a kid, I don't understand this. I've got a 15-year-old who doesn't go out on Friday and Saturday nights. He's not, hanging out at high school parties. He's hanging out with me. Like, he likes to hang out with me. Like, he likes to hang out in his room. He has no real urgency to drive. I mean, he's 15. When I was 15, I was counting the days until I could get a driver's license. And he's like holding out for like a really cool sports car. I'm like, well, then you're never going to drive. He's like, well, then I'll get my license when I get the car I want. That's not how it works. Ugh, whatever. Diana says, let's see here. Yeah, I like these. I know we're not getting into the topics just yet, but I do like to talk to you guys about this stuff. I think this is fun. Diana says, where is it? I had to force my 16-year-old daughter to get her license. She's one of the few kids in her class that drives. Is it because of Uber? Is it because of Uber, or is it because of an absurd dependence on parents who for the past 15 years seem to be just overly willing to chauffeur their kids everywhere? We walked everywhere. You know what? If we were like 10 miles away, then we could convince a parent to come pick us up. But short of that, it was, hey man, get on your bike and stay on the median. It was. And it's not that our parents didn't love us. Our parents loved us. And it's also not, it should be noted, our parents also weren't knowingly preparing us for a hard world. No, that wasn't it. It just wasn't thought that it needed to be done. And I think I know why. I think that because when we were kids, when I was growing up, like when I was a little kid in the late 70s or the early 80s or whatever, out there on my own, I'm not going to count when I was really little because I was always, tethered to my mom's hip, as every little child should be. But once I started getting on a bike and riding, Jesus, man, I went everywhere. And I don't think my mom ever gave it a second thought. I think, I came home when the streetlights came on to eat dinner. And then after that, I get back on my bike and I'd go out until 11 o'clock or whenever my curfew was, my summer curfew, winter curfew, whatever. They never knew where I was. There were no cell phones. I had no change for a payphone. I mean, parents were like, just send the kid out in the world. He's 15. He'll be fine. Here's what I think changed. What we didn't have back then in the 70s and 80s was 24-hour news. What we didn't have back then is the avalanche of accessible news. We used to have to, if you wanted to hear the news back in 1979, you had to wait till 5:30 in the evening or 10 o'clock at night. That was it. There was no CNN. And the news that you did get was, actual news and local too, I'll point out. It was local news. But what you didn't have back then for parents to absorb is endless stories of in Stockton, California today, a little girl was abducted by. That shit didn't start until they started to have 24 hours a day to fill with news stuff. That's when media actively went, well, let's just keep them scared when we don't have anything big. And I think that's affected millennial parents and Gen X parents to some degree. I think that if you were raising your first child in 1998 and you're hearing all about, who was the girl in Denver, right? Elizabeth Smart in Utah, or John Benet Ramsey, all of these stories. These stories didn't exist in the 70s. Our parents didn't have these reminders of what a horrible world was. And so they just let us go out and be kids. And that's who we are now as adults. Parents are now aware, and I think unnecessarily aware, of all the horrors of the world. And thusly, they drive their kids everywhere. I don't know. Diane out here in these streets talking shit on the whole generation of kids. Look at her. She's like, they're wusses. We were sneaking out and driving at 14. You're damn right we were. We made it, which is totally not true. It's like, we always like to say, and nothing happened to us. Dude, I can name you like 5 kids from growing up who died, who didn't make it. One of them was out there riding an ATV without a helmet. He didn't make it. Another one was skitching on a school bus and got run over when he was sucked under the tires. I remember that one. I was like in 6th grade, and this was a kid in the junior high. I mean, not all of us made it. Another one blew his head off playing with a gun. Not all of us made it. We just forget about them. And we only focus on ourselves and our friends, and we're like, yeah, we made it out. So I don't know. But it is different. Kids are different today. I think they're smarter too. What's going on? Why has Ed taken over my screen and is playing with, is the sound not right? I can't see this camera. Hold on. All right, hold on, folks. Hold on. The show is being taken over by Somali pirates. Okay. Hey, there I am. Look at me. All right, now I'm back. Was the sound not good? I thought we fixed the sound about 15 minutes ago. I just had Ed come in and check everything out. I appreciate it, Ed. Thank you. Jennifer here. Let's do more of this parent stuff. I like talking about this stuff. It's something that we all kind of have in common. Before we get into the ugly news, where we probably will have very little in common. No worries, Ed. I love you. Appreciate you being there, Ed. Jennifer says, when I was a kid, I counted days to turning 16 to get a license, and then counting days until I turned 18 so I could move out. But I gave in when I was 17 and 10 months and moved out. But then again, my home life was not great. Well, kind of a fun little, started out as a fun little story there. And then I, started to feel like, oh, Jen, you want a hug? I'll give you a hug. What else do we have here? My boy Rob, old friend Rob, says, my daughter won't ride a bike because it's not cool. She's excited to get her license, get her permit in a couple of weeks. I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that's good either. Excited to get a license, right? Because now I'm like, what are you so excited for? What do you think you're going to get into? All right, there you go. Anyway, I just don't understand why all these kids get dropped off by their parents. Some of them walk. Some of them, the cool ones walk. And there is a bike rack with all of these bikes. So there are some that are riding bikes. Those are the super cool kids. If you're riding like a dirt bike to school in the 7th grade, man, yeah, you're a kid I want to hang out with. I don't want to hang out with some kid who gets catered to and from school by mommy. I'll tell you this, he's kid walks. Well, it's just all around the corner. But he walks. It'd be stupid if he didn't, because he literally lives 50 yards from the house, from the school. So, but he walks, so I give him credit. He's not soft, though. Bunch of these other kids are. The other thing, the bikes. All the bikes are electric bikes. They're not even getting the exercise anymore. Remember when you used to be like, just go outside and play, ride your bike, get some exercise. It's not even exercise anymore. All of these kids are riding these Jetson bikes. Now, I know these are rich kids and these are expensive electric bikes, but whatever. Walking down the street and a kid goes by at 30 miles an hour. It's crazy. Have you seen these? Do you have them in your neighborhood? My kid doesn't. My kid lives in Plano. He's like, no, nobody has these here. But somehow, where I live, every kid's got like a motorcycle. They're just motorcycles. Byron's got a comment. We'll jump in. We'll say hi to Byron. Byron says, I converted my bedroom window to a hinged door, and my girlfriend lived with me for over a year. At 16, parents were clueless. Yeah, we could get away with stuff. I never really got away with stuff. I think I was just such a punk. I just overtly did stuff. I'm honestly trying to think of stuff that I got away with. And I don't think I was really getting away with anything from my mom because she was always just smarter than me. I think that might be why I ended up just being defiant and just doing things overtly and in front of everybody. Because I'm like, I'm not going to trick her. She's too smart. All right, let's do it. Quarter 4, let's get started. This is where we talk about all the things that are happening in the world. But one more time, I will remind you, we're going to put this back up there. Please help out if you can. Business model of the show depends on your generosity here in the next couple of days. So please do if you can. All right, let's see here. First things first, let's talk about the DNC, the Democratic National Convention. Night 3, I guess, was last night. Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah, stupid. That is the 3rd day of the week. Night 3 goes down. A lot of surprises. Oprah. Ooh, big surprise. Ooh, everybody's like, did you hear? Oprah's here. And people are like, this is so exciting that Oprah's here. And I'm like, would you stop with the program bullshit? It's not 2005. It's not 1995. It's 2024. Nobody's seen or heard from Oprah in 20 years. Stop acting like she's still the Oprah who has influence over every woman in this country. You want that, you're going to have to bring up Beyonce on one side of the stage and Taylor Swift on the other. Those are the women who can get America to read a book, which is pretty much all Oprah did with her book club. No, Oprah was undeniably influential for a very large portion of her celebrity life. But she's not that anymore. If I asked my 15-year-old kid who's Oprah, I think he'd be like, I don't know, wasn't she like a president or something like that? They don't know what. They just know the name is there because it's a famous name, but they don't know what she did. So she was the big surprise. And everybody, oh, it's so cool. Anderson Cooper, this is really surprising. I'm like, no, Jesus, why are you excited? This doesn't move the needle. Here's what I wanted for the DNC. And here's what I thought we had after Tuesday. I'm one of those freaks. No, I am not. I'm solidly in the middle, looking at the weird right and the weird left and going, yeah, weirdos. Come join me here in the middle with the normal people who can pick and choose when we want and how we please without being beholden to some ideology or drinking some form of Kool-Aid. Let's be normal. People on the right do some really fucked up shit. People on the left do some really fucked up shit. But sometimes people on the right have an idea that deserves us listening to, as do the people on the left. If you can recognize that, then you're the kind of person that should be listening to this show. But as groupthink, they're both fucking obnoxious morons. So here's what I thought the Dems were going to be doing. I thought they were just going to let, what's his name? President Biden. I thought they were just going to let him speak on Monday. They were going to do a whole show on Monday where it's like, thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. I thought that was going to be Monday, and that's fine, and that's appropriate. But then I thought Tuesday, and it got off to a good start with that roll call stuff. I thought Tuesday was going to be about, this is the new Democratic Party. Out with the old, in with the new. They're going to be a little bit more young, a little bit more, digitally minded or whatever. I don't know what it is. Cooler. There you go. Cooler. A product that appeals to younger people instead of people like me. Okay, people like me, we're old now, but I thought that's what was going to happen. And then it didn't. And then it's like they do it in pieces, but they're still beholden to all of these names from the Democratic Party past that nobody wants to see anymore. Nobody wants to see Bill Clinton anymore. At least not until we find out about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, because as somebody who used to like Bill Clinton, I can tell you that I have read some pretty objective things over the past few years, and that dude's got to answer for some stuff. That's just a fact. I'm not a crazy right-wing QAnon weirdo. That's just a fact. Bill Clinton and Donald Trump, if we're being fair, really need to answer for their long-standing and well-documented relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. And they bring out Pelosi. I'm like, what? Why is she there? You want to know what Nancy Pelosi and Bill Clinton's role at this convention should have been? They should have been up in a box, and every now and then some young politician would go, and I'd like to shout out the forefathers of this movement. You know, that's it. They don't need to give 45 minutes of airtime to somebody who is completely irrelevant. Anybody who can be swayed by the opinion of Bill Clinton was already voting for Harris. So big waste of time. They did do some good things. I mean, they got the Hakeem Jeffries out there. They got he represents by good things. Again, I'm not saying he's the best. I don't know a dick about him. Here's what I know. He represents the new young perspective of that party. And they are attempting strategically to strike a balance between what Trump represents, which was old senility, going back, doddering, ridiculous, with young and fresh and aspirational. That's the balance they're going for. And I'm telling you, as somebody who watches these things, I watched both, they had some moments, but overall, it's just stop anchoring yourself to the past so much. They should have just ended it after the roll call. I'm telling you, they should have just went, get out and vote, motherfuckers, peace out. And that should have been it. And then they should have just done concerts. They should take that on the road. They should take that roll call thing on the road. Do it in different cities. All right, so last night we had a whole bunch of oldsters. We had Oprah, who I think does nothing for the party. A bunch of black grandmas weren't already voting for Kamala Harris. There's some trucker from central Pennsylvania who is undecided, who watched Oprah last night and went, I think she made some good points. No, that didn't happen. All she did was chew up time and allow a bunch of old Democrats to hang out with Oprah one last time. Don't underestimate that they just wanted to hang out backstage with Oprah. Because to people of a certain age, she still means something. I just don't think she means anything to people of relevant, moving the party forward age. All right, what else did we have last night? Let's see here. Well, we had no protests. I mean, we had protests, but you have protests like you have protests anywhere. Why hasn't my city burned down by now? I swear to God, last week at this time, I'd have been like, by Wednesday of next week, that city, the Great Chicago Fire Part 2, is going to be in full effect. No. Congratulations to, what's his name? The mayor. I don't even know who the mayor. We're going to call him Brandon Sullivan. I don't know. Brandon Johnson. I think that's it. Dude's got it on lockdown. It's been 3 nights of very little problems. And I'll tell you, and this isn't just a right-wing thing, although on the right wing, I think it was wishful thinking. I also thought that there was some credence to all of these screams of this city's going to burn. It's going to be a shit show. It's going to be a clusterfuck. It hasn't been that at all. It's going to be just like 1968. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't at all. Got one more night. Got one more night for the city to burn down. But so far, congratulations to my city. They've done a good job. They've kept their shit now. Doesn't mean that we haven't seen endless videos of protesters on, Twitter and Instagram and all that, just being the representation of a bottom-dwelling human that they are. Not all protesters. I'm a great believer in the First Amendment, right? I'm a great believer in being an American and speaking truth to power. But I do not think that a protest is screaming in a police officer's face about their role in America sending arms to Israel. You pig, stop sending arms to Israel. The fuck, man? This dude had nothing to do with that. He's a bicycle cop in Chicago. Well, what are you getting on him for? Just don't break anything, and you won't even have to deal with him. He's just there for your own safety, and you're instigating. So I hate those people. But at least those people have been kind of manageable. But as I say, one more night. Jeff Ballard, 55 arrests last night in front of the Israeli. Yeah, on a normal night, there's 55 arrests. Trust me, Jeff. This is not. I wouldn't think of Jeff as being one of these people rooting for the city to burn because libtards or whatever. So what are you doing, Jeff? It has been. Again, I'll use the word that I've used too much because I've been checking the show. I've been rewatching the show. I use objectively too much. It's been objectively a successful and peaceful DNC. We got one more day. Jeff, you never know. You might see my city burn today so that you can own the libs or whatever. Doing a good job. What else do we have here? Stevie Wonder. They brought Stevie Wonder out. Who? Really? Stevie Wonder? You had Little John the other night, and Little John ain't had a hit in 20 years, and at least, that was like, cool, they're doing retro. No, the next night they go back to the 70s. I love Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder's incredible. He's totally cool. Love him. Again, I'd rather seen Jay-Z. Jay-Z would have been a better one. I'd rather see, I can't do Puffy, that's for sure. All of his. What about J-Lo? Well, she was in divorce court. Bianchi. We could have done Bianchi. We could have done Jay-Z. Could have done Taylor. No, they're giving us Stevie Wonder so that our 85-year-old great aunt can blow up Facebook about how he's not really blind. He's not. I've never believed he was blind. How come he didn't need a cane? These people, did you see that? That came out yesterday after Stevie Wonder. He's not really blind. It's a good bit. It's a good bit. If he's not really blind, he is the best character actor in the history. He has not broken character since he's like 9 years old. That's how long we've known Stevie Wonder. Started faking being blind at like 9. Now he's like 100. All right, so we had Stevie Wonder, we had Clinton, and we had Oprah. It was just a real snooze fest of a lineup. Who else did they bring out? Anybody? They brought out. They let the what's his name? What's his name? Pete, Mayor Pete. They let him talk. He's a good talker. He puts the right words together with the proper inflection. He's good. I didn't see him though. I didn't watch that. I gotta be honest. I was flipping around. I was watching other things. I was only there for Tim Walz, and I don't even know why I was there for him. I'm like, the vice president. Why am I tuning in for the vice president? Why am I tuning in for this guy who, if he loses, we'll never hear from him again? Looking at you, Tim Kaine, Dan Quayle, Mike Pence, all of these dudes, these former Sarah Palin. If Sarah Palin wasn't a fuck up, we'd have never heard of her again. These VP guys. So let's talk about the Vice President of the United States, Coach Walz. I like those things as sort of brand identifiers for him during the launch. Well, we can dial it back now. It's a little bit too. Hey, Coach. It's a little bit too ham-fisted, shall we call it? So what do I think of Tim Walz? I like him. I think he seems like a good dude. Seems like a guy I want to be my next door neighbor. Not fucking Trump and not J.D. Vance. I don't want to live near these guys. But Walz seems like he's a good, honest, but he lied about IVF. No, he lied. He didn't lie about it. He didn't lie about it. That's all. I'm just not even going to get into that. He didn't lie about it. He was wrong in the way he presented it, but he didn't lie about it. And just because your guy lies about fucking everything doesn't mean that you can cherry pick what you want to call lies on the other side. He was wrong. He was wrong about the information that he was trying to convey, but he certainly did have infertility issues, and they did go through medical processes. Now, the process that actually connected with him for his wife and he, that gave them a child, is not anything that is being threatened by the Republican agenda. So that is a bit dubious, and you have a right to be like, well, wait a second, though. He's out here saying, I wouldn't have kids if not for them. No, he would, because what he went through is still legally allowable because it doesn't involve an embryo. So That's what it was. But the whole idea that all of his years as a teacher and a coach and an upstanding member of the community, that's all bullshit because he misrepresented exactly the process that he and his wife went through 20 years ago. Shut up. You petty little bitches. Stop it. You lie about other. He's stolen valor. I'll tell you the funniest thing that I saw, because this one I agree with. Stolen football valor, maybe more like it. Coach, calling him coach. I won a state championship. No, you didn't. You were a defensive coach. You were not the head coach. You do not have on your resume that you head coached a state championship. Now, I don't know that he ever said that in so many words, that I was the head coach of a state championship. But still, just by saying, when I was coaching, we won state, you kind of give the impression that maybe, but you weren't. That's some stolen football valor right there, Tim Waltz. You need to fix that. Coming up on football season. What else did we have there? We had the kid thing. You, good Lord, my God, that kid thing. Again, gonna use the word objectively. That's the shit that connects. Oh my God, that was a grand slam for the undecided rural American who looks at Trump and goes, that guy's a fucking jerk off. They see that thing last night with Tim Waltz where he's talking about his family and his kid, who's like, I guess, a special needs kid, unless they're lying about that too, which there is a Gus is his name here. Well, we'll show it because I truly think that politically speaking, this is going to be an iconic piece of video. It's certainly going to be a meme or however you want to pronounce it. It's definitely going to be one of those things that we'll see all the time. Here it is. Let's see. Let's give it a look at this. Where's the video for it? Well, yeah, here it is. Oh, look at this. Yeah, this. Even Ben Shapiro, who is the all grows up kid from The Omen. You ever seen that? Even Ben Shapiro is applauding this moment as a moment of. There you go. Ben Shapiro, look at him. He said, this is really nice. It's for Ben Shapiro to say that. But you want to know something that I know about Ben Shapiro, which is why that probably hit him. And it's going to hit a whole bunch of other people that are like Ben Shapiro. And by that, I mean assholes, but who were coincidentally raised in a loving relationship with their father. Ben Shapiro is very close with his dad. Ben Shapiro and his dad wrote a book about the Chicago White Sox. Ben Shapiro, for all the things that I loathe about him, is a very, very high-level White Sox fan. And he and his dad back in 2015, I think, wrote a book about their father and son love for the Chicago White Sox. So when Ben Shapiro sees that moment last night between Tim Waltz, even he is honorable enough to go, you know what, for anyone that loves their dad, was born. Moment. So here we go. Let's watch this from last night. This is the takeaway. Yeah, emotional. Yeah, staged. I don't think so. First of all, this kid apparently has like ADHD and nonverbal learning disabilities, and is on the spectrum. And I'm hearing all of these things. I don't know which is what, but I mean, it's not being denied. Like even far-right people, far-right pundits are going, hey, you know what? Let's leave this kid alone because this was actually a big moment and we don't need to talk about it. That's the other thing that the right is kind of learning. Let's just leave this kid alone because if we turn this into a big thing, it's just another example of what a bunch of assholes we are. So let's just say it's nice and move on. Take the L in this moment and move on. But it's a political victory. This is going to appear in ads. It's going to be, it's these people, the Kamala and what's this dude's name again? Waltz. It's their brand identifier. This is the dichotomy that they are trying. Trump's brand identifier is going to be that assassination thing where he's got his fist raised and he's like, "Nah!" That's a very different energy and vibe than that's my dad. And that's what they're trying to do. Both very effective for their stated agendas. Absolutely. Which will be more effective with just regular people? Are there more people out there who think it's cool that he took a bullet and was like, fight? Are there more people like that? Or are there more people that love their father? Are there more people that have that, will see that and go, holy shit? I can tell you that as a father of a 15-year-old, that fucking cracked me. This moment cracked me right across the face. And think you were probably raised by an asshole or have a very rough relationship with your father if you weren't moved by this. That's just being human. That's not being a libtard. That's not being MAGA. This is just being human.
And when our daughter was born, we named her Hope. Hope, Gus, and Gwen, you are my entire world, and I love you. I'm letting you in on how we started a family because this is a big part. And when our daughter was born, we named her Hope. Hope, Gus, and Gwen, you are my entire world, and I love
you. The opposition is going to get zero mileage out of trying to lampoon, mock, or degrade this. Y'all got to just walk away. Hey, man, when I watched Trump bounce up after that dude shot him in the ear, okay, we'll go with shot him in the ear. When that dude shot him in the ear, when Trump bounced up, I remember sitting there watching that, and I said to my friend E on the phone, it's over. It's over. You cannot beat this. This imagery of Trump's first reaction to being shot is to jump up and go, fight. I'm like, you can't beat that. Same thing here. I'm sorry, you can't beat that's my dad. You just can't, man. All right, so that's the big moment from last night. Just move on from it. Just don't draw attention to it. Don't be like, the dumb little retard kid, which is like what some people are. Yeah, you're not going to win any votes on that one. Trust me, dudes, y'all have the asshole contingent in this country accounted for. Every asshole in this country is already voting with you guys, okay? It's the normal people that you need to start making feel comfortable coming over to vote MAGA. And if you're going to take shots at a kid going, that's my dad, then I would not advise that. I would not advise that. Ratings are out. We talk about the ratings. It's another one that the RNC is, they're just crushing the RNC. And I posted yesterday a little joke tweet that because ratings mean something to some people. What is it? It's like the RNC on was this night 2? Yeah, these were night 2 numbers. They walloped them on night 1, but then on night 2, the numbers were 14.6 million for the RNC. There were 14.6 million people who tuned in to night 2 of the RNC in Milwaukee. And if you remember that was a very optimistic, oh my God, this is all going so great. This is a party that is aligned and fully behind their candidate. What an incredible convention here. And it was, a lot of buzz. Did you see Hulk Hogan last night? A lot of buzz. Did very well. 14.6, that is nothing to snooze at. That's a big number. Night 2 of the Dems did almost 21 million. It's a third more, right? So they're connecting, man. People are watching the Democratic National Convention, and people are watching, looking to make a decision here. And that's not great. All right, for MAGA, if you will. Although I think none of this is good for MAGA. I think a lot of this is good for America, and I think a lot of this is good for me because now we've got a race. We never raced before. I'm like, Trump's going to be president again. He's going to do a bunch of dicky shit for 4 years, and we're all going to be distracted. And at the end of it, nothing's going to get done because there's going to be an obstructionist party to the Democrats that aren't going to allow. I just thought that's all going to suck. But now it looks like, I don't know, maybe somebody who isn't just going to loot the treasury, if you will. All right, I'm letting my hatred for Donald Trump show. Not my hatred for Republicans. As a matter of fact, there's a Republican speaking tonight who I've liked for a long time. That's right, I liked Adam Kinzinger before you guys all hated him. I liked Adam Kinzinger back when you guys liked Adam Kinzinger. I was like, no, he's a good man. He's a good man. He's a good rural American Illinois farmer's kid. He speaks to the world. He's terrific, and he refuses. Very conservative guy, very conservative. Unlike the libs, but he also can see what Trump is, and so he's going to be speaking tonight at the DNC. That'll be very interesting to see what Adam Kinzinger does. Oh yeah, you guys don't like him because he looked at January 6th and went, "Okay, we're going to hold hearings." That's why you don't like him, because he wasn't just like. He didn't pretend that there wasn't anything that happened there. Something happened there. You people, James Parker, I always tell James Parker that he has zero credibility with me anymore because he refers to that as, oh, some furniture got knocked around. I'm like, no, they started fires, people died, and, a whole bunch of bullshit went down. It was an attack on what I viewed as my country by a bunch of, almost said the R word that I can't say. But anyway, conservative Republican Midwestern farm boy Adam Kinzinger saw that as well and went, wait a second, I'm not going along with the party line and pretending that what I just saw. My thing on January 6th has always been just to avoid arguments. But if you want to argue, we can argue. My thing on January 6th has always been, I know what I fucking saw. I was riveted to my TV screen for about 8 hours that day. I know what I saw. Let's see here. RFK Jr. is in the news. RFK Jr. and his embarrassing little weirdo campaign of, oh, man. Here's the thing about the RFK. You know what the best thing about RFK Jr.'s campaign is? His vice president. Oh, she's like my favorite. I mean, I've never heard her speak, and I don't know what her platforms are, and I suspect that because she's in league with RFK that it isn't anything that I would ever agree with, but hot. She is, like, perfect for me. What's her name? I got to sit back and think about Nicole Shanahan. She's a billionaire. Isn't she a billionaire, though, because she married a billionaire? Isn't that her deal? And she married, wasn't she just like some waitress who married a dude who founded Google? And then they got divorced, and now she's like a billionaire waitress who's RFK's. No, I know she's done other things. Look, all I'm saying is, physically speaking, Nicole Shanahan is gorgeous. She's gorgeous. And here's what I think it's about. I have always said that the most beautiful women in the world, okay, the most beautiful women in the world, for me, this is for me, these are personal choices. The most beautiful woman in the world has a Caucasian, I like the Irish mix because I've got examples of the Irish mix. I like a Caucasian Irish father and a Japanese. It's Japanese. I know. What about Chinese? No, it seems to be always Japanese or something like that. Irish father, Japanese mother. Holy, have you seen what that creates? My goodness. You got your Brooke Burke. Brooke Burke is a good example of that. Olivia Munn is a good example of that. And Nicole Shanahan is a good example of that. Nicole Shanahan, who is RFK Jr.'s vice president. I don't know what to say about RFK Jr. getting ready to announce that he's going to drop out. He's going to drop out, and they're saying that he's going to endorse Trump maybe. Apparently there's problems at home with Cheryl Hines. Cheryl Hines is RFK Jr.'s wife. She is reportedly not down with endorsing Trump, but if there's one thing that I know about RFK Jr., it's that he doesn't give a shit about his wives. Google it. Google it. So Cheryl Hines is like, I don't want him to endorse Trump. But he's like, I'm going to endorse Trump. Whatever the fuck is going on with him. He is a train wreck human being. He's a junkie. He's planting bears in Central Park. He's got brain worms. Probably walking these streets, RFK Jr. is walking these streets with one of the most honored and respected names in American modern political history. And he's talking about brain worms, shooting junk into his arm and planting bears in Central Park. And now he wants to be president or vice president or whatever the hell it is he's going for. He's going for president. Is he going to endorse Trump? Probably because the story last week was that he was going to drop out and that he was going to petition for a job in Harris's cabinet for for the endorsement, and they said, yeah, no, you go kick rocks, dude. We don't need that. You're a weirdo. And so now apparently he's going to endorse Trump, because I bet you Trump promised him anything. As a matter of fact, Don Jr. was on one of these sketchy ass podcasts, and it's going around on the Twitters. Don Jr.'s on one of these sketchy ass podcasts going, I would hire RFK Jr. in a minute just to blow up all of these departments. I'm like, oh, that's good. So you're openly saying that you would hire this guy because he would wreck the Department of what? The environment, the EPA? What are you going to do? What does he want to do? Because I got a problem with that, because I don't think that you put RFK Jr. in charge of the EPA under Trump. I don't think you're going to get a guy who's just going to, allow fracking everywhere. He is, you righties don't know, he's crazy far left environmentalist. So, you don't have everything battened down with RFK. So be careful what you want. He ain't going to go to the EPA and blow it up. He'll go to the EPA and make it like more intrusive than it's ever been. It's where he comes from. Comes from the world of environmental activism. He's in league with that slow-witted Norwegian girl. What's her name? The one that's like, I like air. What's her name? He's one of them. And you people are right now thinking, he's one of us. And they're like, well, wait till you learn what he's really about. I mean, he made his bones trying to clean up the East River in New York. That's what he became famous for. He held all of these companies to account and went to battle with the Republicans who were backing all of these state laws. No, he's not what you think he is. Barney wants to put him in charge of Health and Human Services. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Put somebody, because fuck them people who need food stamps, right, Barn? Come on, man. I hate when I have to go hard on the one guy who has tipped this show in the last 10 days. But that's the dynamic that Barney and I have. There is a love there, but there's also oh, shut up. Which is pretty much my relationship with everybody in my life that I'm close to. I think that says more about me than maybe about anybody else, but here we are. Texas made a law that's got a whole bunch of people going crazy, and it's one of these laws that I don't know if they really didn't need to be a law. This is really a problem because it just seems like you're just being a dick. It's a lot of what the Texas state government is about. It seems to be shrouded in the idea of we're going to defend Texas values, but then it's just you're being a jerk. That's like a kind of just a jerky thing. People don't like the trans, right? Trans, they're gross. That's kind of like the attitude there at the governor's mansion, I would think, in Texas, at least according to the way things have gone and their positions on the trans issue these past few years. Here's a new one. Breaking news, the DPS, that's the Department of Public Safety, they enact a new policy that refuses court-ordered gender marker changes. And they're also creating a database of people who request their gender to be changed. The fucking right loves their lists. They love to create, and that's how they project that too, though. The government, they want you to have a gun license because they're the liberals. They want to create a list of people, so you got to have you people create more lists. Okay, let's stop acting like, wanting to put people on lists is somehow a liberal idea or a right-wing thing. All bad people in positions of power who want to account for their enemies are going to suggest creating lists, okay? It is not a shock that Greg Abbott and Ken Paxton here in the state of Texas decided that let's make a list of weirdos who want to be men now or women. That's who these people are. Shocked by this? According to the Texas Department of Public Safety internal emails, a copy of which was sent to Dallas Voice, the email indicates that the DPS will create a database of all individuals who request to have the gender marker on their license or ID changed. Creating databases, we're all against that, right? Except when it's for trannies. It's for trannies, though. That's different. They're not like us. They don't go to church. They don't like fried chicken and football. dude, you can't fucking do that. Okay? So this is another list. I want lists. You know what I want? I want a list. Here's the list that I want. I want a list of fucking crazy people who have been in mental institutions who are now trying to buy a gun. How about that list? You know why? Because that list fucking makes sense. Just having a list of like chicks with dicks serves no purpose at the state level. I don't know what they're trying to do. Policy change follows an earlier request from the Texas Attorney General that the DPS provide his office with records for individuals who had gender markers corrected on their license. Okay, so I guess it used to be, you know, if you're a dude and you're like, oh, I'm inspired by whatever. I'm inspired to change and live my life, and good for you and whatever, but, you know, I don't want to hear about it. Go ahead. So these people, they would be able to go to the DPS and they'd be like, here's my old license where it says my name is Stan. I would like it changed because my name is now Janice. And as you can see, I no longer identify as a man. And it used to be something that they could do, I guess. Like, no harm, no foul, whatever, weirdo. Okay, I'll fix it for you. You happy? Go on. You're driving around. You look like a woman anyway. Probably be confusing to the cop. Why not? Not a big deal. But no, apparently it is a big deal. Apparently that is just a bridge too far because we can't give these trans people anything that they want or need. I'm thinking it's just a cop thing. If I'm a cop and I pull somebody over and I look at a driver's license and it's obviously a Brenda, but it says Brian on the driver's license, I'm going to be like, can we step out of the vehicle, please? Just dumb. Again, this is just to be a dick. This is just, Ken Paxton is like the biggest dick on the planet. I can't even award that title to Abbott because, quite frankly, I think that it's Paxton who all these years have been. Also, who's the other one with the bad fake teeth? You know, when a chick's got fake tits, you can be like, that chick's got fake tits. That tells me a little something about her. People who have fake teeth, same thing. Like, you see all of these dudes, they have the same fucking fake teeth now because apparently they can give you good teeth. Dan Patrick is one of them. He's the bad Dan Patrick. The good Dan Patrick does sports on Roku or some shit. I don't know. But the bad Dan Patrick is one of these list makers here in Texas. The new policy appears to be implemented to create the database that Paxton has been asking for the past year. Yeah, Paxton. He's one of these guys. He's a far-right guy. He loves the whole MAGA movement. He thinks that somehow, some way, if Trump gets elected again, he's going to be elevated to some federal level. That ain't going to happen. Not with what he went through a couple of months ago where a jury just barely acquitted him of all kinds of nonsense. You think that the Senate is going to approve you of anything, dude? I don't think so. Anyway, he's still playing the game. He probably wants to be governor next. But for years, he's been doing this stuff. But he's also one of these vocal guys who are like, I'm so tired of cancel culture. And then he's like canceling everything. He's just, I hate these people. This is such a fucking own goal. This is, again, what I say about Republicans in their own goals. Remember, we'll break it down. The idiot liberals, they're dick trippers. They trip over their big giant dicks. They're out there. They're like, look at what we're doing. We got all these great plans. Doesn't this sound nice? And then they trip over their dick because it turns out to be not at all what they said it was. The Republicans on the left, they're own goal specialists. They're the goalie who like watches his own teammate kick it in the net. Look at J.D. Vance. There you go. He's a walking own goal. That's what this is. This is an own goal for the Republican Party. All of it does is make a bunch of hateful people go, see, we're still hating trans in Texas. And that's maybe a few thousand people. You know what it does? It nationally ignites a database of all the people in this area to now engage them with this issue. And now it's a thing. Now it's a thing. It didn't have to be a thing. It's an unnecessary thing. But whatever. Look at us. We're hating on the people who are weird because we're normal with our big fake weird teeth. And sure, totally normal you guys are. Shroud of Turin. Now let's go after the Christians. What do you say? Who's with me? Come on. Shroud of Turin was always something that I thought was magical. As a little kid, I remember watching. Do you guys remember that Leonard Nimoy? Spock. He was Spock from the original Star Trek. He had that show, In Search of. Scariest fucking show in the world for me. I was like 7 years old. Like 7 years old, I'm watching the show. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Bigfoot? I've heard about Bigfoot, but I didn't know that. I mean, it lent credibility to all of these crazy things. In Search of was a show hosted by Spock. And it was all about the world's great mysteries. One episode would be about Bigfoot. The next episode would be about the Bermuda Triangle. It was all super awesome stuff. One of the episodes that I remember was the Shroud of Turin. The Shroud of Turin is famously I don't know, like a bar rag. It's just a blanket. It's a blanket. It's a shroud blanket. Let's call it this. The blanket of Jesus. Jesus' death blanket. You know when you die and you drop a blanket on the body and you cover it over their face? That's basically what this is. Just had to give it a fancy Bible name. So the Shroud of Turin. So for years, the Shroud of Turin has been the subject of great debate, let alone the very existence of Jesus or that there is a God at all. Let's forget about that debate, but let's just go to the debate as it directly pertains to the Shroud of Turin. People were saying this is the death blanket of Jesus. And the argument always centered around the carbon dating. Can this thing be dated back conclusively to the time of Jesus? All right? Well, it has been. Big breakthrough in the Shroud of Turin. Carbon dating by a number of independent sources, as well as, here, I want to make sure I get this right, because the people who did the testing, they also made sure that they cross-referenced their work with other people. A team of Italian researchers have entered the debate over the Shroud of Turin, the linen cloth believed by some to have been Jesus's burial shroud. In a study published in the scientific journal Heritage, the authors conducted dating work on a sample from the shroud. It says that their conclusion is that it may be a 2,000-year-old relic after all. Around about the 80s or the 90s, people started to go with the idea that the Shroud of Turin was something that was created in the Middle Ages as a dupe, as a fool, as a way to get Christians to think that it truly was. And so that was, was kind of marginalized. It's back, baby. Shroud of Turin is back. So now here's the interesting thing about the Shroud of Turin. This is not the question that needs to be. It's not there. I mean, there are people going, the Shroud of Turin is real. It is Jesus's burial blanket because we now know that it's from the time of Jesus. Doesn't prove that it's Jesus's. It proves that it's from that time. And when you see the picture, the image on the Shroud of Turin, well, maybe I got it. Can we bring it up? Why not? Might as well show. If you're unfamiliar with what this is, I don't know, maybe you're not a million years old like me and didn't see In Church Of as a kid. So maybe you're unfamiliar with this. I feel like as a Catholic, this was a big player in my childhood. I feel like. Here we go. All right, so here is an X-ray of the Shroud of Turin. Now, here's the thing about it. So the idea is that, for all the time that it was laying over the face of Jesus Christ, that an indentation from Jesus's face has now made its way into the shroud itself. So when you look at the shroud, you see this. So this is the image. Apparently, this is something that happens. This isn't just like the first time it's ever happened. No, they found other people dead and buried and covered in cloth, where the cloth then sort of has the face of the person that was under that. So it's a thing. I don't understand it. I'm not a scientist, but just trust that it is a thing. So here we go. This is Jesus. This is This is the face under the Shroud of Turin, or so they say. All we know now is that it is authentically 2,000 years old, as it was called when it was discovered. It was first discovered years ago. They said, oh, this is 2,000 years old. Then a couple of years later, people were like, no, it's not. It's only like 500 years old. So now we have confirmation from another group of researchers and scientists using the absolute latest carbon dating technology. They believe this is a 2,000-year-old piece of cloth. Now, does that mean that it's Jesus? Of course not. Jesus wasn't the only guy back then. I mean, this is probably a way that, but look, it looks like Jesus. No, it looks like the imagery of what we have been told Jesus looks like. So, because we don't know what everybody looked like back then, we see this and go, it looks like Jesus. Well, how many other people from the year zero could you pick out of a lineup? I'm thinking that Jesus had a pretty mainstream look. I'm thinking that there were probably a lot of dudes with long hair and beards, what with, supercuts not being invented for another 2,000 years. Anyway, this is the famous Shroud of Turin. Yes, maybe it is 2,000 years old. Cool. Does that mean it's Jesus? No. What is this? Well, Jesus, pretty big. What is this dude? Looks pretty big. What are we looking at here? I don't even know what this is. Oh, I do want to show you this. There is an AI. AI went to work on the Shroud of Turin, and they made a picture of him. I think that's him. There he is. There you go. AI Jesus on the right. That's what AI went. This is what that dude would look like. He looks pissed. He looks like he wants answers. He looks like he's mad at his father. He looks like he wants answers from his father as to why he was put through what he just went through for these ungrateful, awful, inherently bad humans. That's what Jesus looks like there. Dad, want some answers. That's my dad. That's my dad. All right, Shroud of Turin breaking news. There we have it. What else do we have happening here in the world today? 144, we're up against it. Let me remind you one more time. Please help out the show if you can. I can't. I will not continue to do shows if the average take home is like $1.50 per show. I can't. And that's all right. Let's go here. How about this one? Flag football. So the big story now. We're all very excited. Oh, gotta get out. Gotta stop sharing. Stop sharing. All right, so the big story today, not today, the last couple of days. Actually, since the wrap up to the Olympics, people have been talking about this because how very exciting, right? Flag football is going to be a medal sport in the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. Yay! Cool. That's cool. Not as cool as actual football being a sport. We have actual baseball. We have actual hockey. We have actual basketball. Why don't we have actual football? What are we doing flag fucking football for when we can do actual football? Canada could field the team. America could field the team. All right, so that's it. No, there are club levels. There are. Look, if you can have breakdancing, okay? If countries all around the globe can field a breakdancing team, I'm sure that there are countries that could field a football team. All right, and American rules. Oh, is that the problem? That it's American rules football? Well, we play soccer, and soccer is British rules. Those are rules that were created by that country, and then during colonization spread around the globe. So why not football? I want to do real football. I want real football. Because you couldn't get people to play. Yeah, you could. Of course you could. You probably wouldn't get superstars. Like, I don't think superstars would play full tackle football unless they were, like, at the end of their careers. Like, if they were at the end of their careers and it didn't matter if they got hurt in Olympic football. They got rugby. They got Olympic rugby, full contact rugby. I watched some of that. All right, anyway. We're going pussy on the whole football thing. Instead of doing actual football, we're going to do flag football, which whoop-de-doo, it's going to be fun, and I shouldn't really be mad about it because it will be cool and I will watch it. However, it does open the conversation about, well, who's going to be on this flag football team? Who do we got here? I mean, do we have an actual flag football team here, a Team USA? And we do. We do. We have a Team USA, and apparently they're, I guess, unsurprisingly, very good. They are much better than the team from Liberia. And they should be. Our American flag football team is very good, and they will be with the team as it consists of the players now. That team will be the overwhelming favorite to win gold in 2028. Okay, even though everybody's going to be 4 years older. But, Olympics are Olympics, and there are a whole bunch. It's a very high-profile thing, and winning a gold medal is something that, if you are an athlete, when you're checking the boxes at the end of the career, it's nice to have a gold medal there for something. Just ask Michael Jordan. Just ask LeBron James, Seth Curry. Steph Curry? I said Seth Curry. I said Seth Curry. I went with the Fredo Curry brother instead of saying Steph. So our professional NFL caliber players going to be playing flag football for Team USA. And if they are, what does that mean for the current players who are very good at playing this level of football? So Yesterday, the current quarterback of Team America's flag football team. Yesterday, the quarterback went on, I think this was, where is it? I think this was, yeah, this could be TMZ. Went on TMZ and he had some things to say about people like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. And Caleb Williams is, he has said it himself, Caleb Williams wants to be quarterback for Team USA in 4 years. And we'll see. Maybe he will be. But here, I want to show you this. This is the current quarterback of the American flag football team talking about this idea that pros are going to just invade his sport and take over. So here we have it. Let's see what he has to say. I don't know what his name is, just that he looks kind of like Colin Kaepernick. Let's see. Don't need that. Well, I'm just closing out some windows. I apologize.
I feel like I'm better than Patrick Mahomes because of my IQ of the game. I know he's right now the best in the league. I know he's more accurate. I know he has all these intangibles. But when it comes to flag football, I feel like I know more than him. At the end of the day, I feel like I'm better than Patrick Mahomes because of my IQ of the game. I know he's right now the best in the league. I know he's more accurate. I know he has all these intangibles. But when it comes to flag football, I feel like I know more than him.
All right, there he goes. There he is. That is the, oh my God. So he went out, he said that, and then a bunch of experts chimed in, people familiar with him. And then apparently that dude played a little bit of organized team football at the collegiate level at some, I don't know where, but he wasn't all that great. It certainly wasn't Patrick Mahomes at Texas A&M. The dude never played in the NFL or anything like that. Or was he drafted? No, nothing like that. So because he's still young and he's got some gas in the tank athletically, he looks and he's like, I'm going to start playing flag football at the highest level. And he reaches, a goal that he set, which was to have this become an Olympic sport and be playing for an Olympic gold medal. Now he's out here looking at 4 years down the road going, holy shit, in 4 years, these dudes are going to come in. They're going to take our teams, or our places, our positions on these teams. And I'm not going to be able to, have the one bit of glory that I was hoping to be able to milk out of my very mid-tier athletic career. So he's mad. He's mad. And he's on TV saying shit like, I think I'm better than Patrick Mahomes because of my football IQ. Oh, my God. People are so delusional. Because of your football IQ. Look, here's the advantage that you, sir, have over Patrick Mahomes right now. The advantage that you have is that you are currently the starting quarterback of Team USA. That's it. That is it. Because let me tell you, kid, if Patrick Mahomes decides that he wants to be the quarterback for the flag football team in 4 years, Patrick Mahomes is going to be the quarterback for the flag football team in the next 4 years. You do realize that when they are unpadded, when they're not wearing pads for whether it's mini camp or optional activities or even in the first week or so of training camp, they are essentially playing flag football at a very high level. I mean, are you aware of the speed? First of all, can we just talk about what Team America, the flag football team, is going to look like if we do, in fact, go? It's just going to be these big, armed, elusive quarterbacks. It's going to be your Lamar Jacksons. It's going to be your Justin Fields. It's going to be your Patrick Mahomes types. It's going to be your Caleb Williams types. They're going to be elusive. They are fast. You can't get a hand on them. And then they have cannons for arms because flag football is just about sending the fastest guy the furthest and then have the guy with the best arm just chuck it. And you're gonna have Patrick Mahomes just chucking to Tyreek Hill again. And we saw how that worked out in actual football with athletes who are at the absolute apex of their profession. It worked out pretty well for him. So this is absurd. I feel bad for this kid because he's like, maybe he currently, as of this day, August the 22nd, maybe he currently, as of this day, has a better understanding of the rules and regs of flag football and how an actual flag football game is played as it occurs on the field. He has that over Patrick Mahomes, but I got to think, that's all. Patrick just got to watch a video. You just got to watch a video and learn a couple of rules. It's flag fucking football. Let's stop overthinking it, folks. All right. So there you go. There's that with that. I can't wait for flag football in the Olympics. Look at me. I'm such an idiot. Why am I saying that? I watched like 2 days of the Olympics this time. Remember how big I was into the Olympics? I'm like, this is awesome. Peacock. Watched like 2 days of it and then forgot it was on and never went back. All right, here we go. Now we're at a point in the show where I want to show some videos. Let's do some video breakdowns. I've got a couple of examples of what I think are just atrocious examples of wives. But look, tomorrow we'll do husbands. No, we won't. I wouldn't sell my brothers out like that. But we're going to show some wife videos. We're going to show some videos of wives doing wife things, okay? And you tell me, am I crazy or do these people suck? Do these people absolutely suck? First of all, let me show you one that I didn't have pulled up, so I got to find this. Oh, great. Hold on. Let me show you this one video. Where is it? By the way, on my Twitter, Gordon Keith of The Ticket, he apparently got a podcast. I know I watch his streams from time to time. He's very good, but he's got a podcast. And apparently he put a picture up where he's got his arm around this girl, this beautiful 35-year-old-ish woman. And he says, guess which celebrity I'm hanging out with today? And I jokingly said, well, it looks like you're dating Blair from The Facts of Life. It was a joke because this was a woman who looked to be about 35 years old. She looked pretty and she kind of looked like Blair from Facts of Life. Turns out it was Lisa Whelchel, who has got to be 57, 58. Looks amazing. I'm like, she looks like a 35-year-old woman. All right, hold on. I'm still trying to find this one video. Well, there's the first one. We don't need that. Here we go. All right, I want to show you this. All right, so this is a TikTok video. There's a lot of cooking TikTok videos. This woman says, me cooking for my blue-collar husband, right? So I don't know what this is, but we're going to see how she cooks for her blue-collar husband. Now, I ask you, would you eat this shit? And would you, is it misogynistic of me to say that one of the attributes that I look for in a woman that really turns me on is her enthusiasm and passion for cooking? I do. I love it. That is a trait in a woman that I am really drawn to. I love it. Harkens back to all of our native sort of beginnings with our mother and the nourishment and all of that. So you're a misogynist. Men can cook too. I can cook better than most women, you fucking bitch. Shut up. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there is something that I find peaceful as a man when a woman is able to cook. And I think you're less of a woman if you can't. Whoa! Look at me. I was explaining something. I was being reasoned, and then I took a hook shot. Haymaker. There ain't nothing worse than a woman who thinks she can cook, but I've dated a couple of those. That was one of my earliest things. If we're dating, we're going out on a couple of dates. We've been a couple of places. I'll always slide this one in. When are you going to cook for me? Because it's important. You think it's a throwaway line, but I love to eat. I'm a big, fat, happy man. And one of the ways to make me feel like I am wanted and loved is to show your affection for me by cooking me a nice, pot roast. That sounds good. Meatloaf. That's my big test, by the way. Meatloaf. I've said this for years. Those of you who listen to my radio show going back, you know that my big test for a woman, you think you can cook, you're a good cook. Oh, you can cook this, you can cook that. Okay, wonderful. Make me a meatloaf. Make me a meatloaf dinner. Show me how you do the most basic entry-level comfort food, and then we'll go from there. 9 out of 10 people cannot cook a good meatloaf. 9 out of 10 people cannot cook a meatloaf the way my mom can cook a meatloaf, the way Kelly could cook a meatloaf. Oh, Kelly's meatloaf was so good. It was really good. Anyway, let's watch this. This woman thinks she's being a saint here by cooking for her blue-collar husband. Let's check out this nonsense. Nope, hold on. Can't do the music. Don't want to do the music because I don't want this entire fucking video to be banned. So here we go. All right, she's doing a little bit of Crisco. All right, so she's got a dirty ass skanked up frying pan on a fucked up stove. Look at that. First of all, can we just talk about this kitchen? And she's poured what appears to be Crisco in her little frying pan here. And now she's taking a frozen pot pie, which needs to be baked on a pan. She's taking a frozen pot pie, and she's going to fry it on her skanked up stove in Crisco. Let's watch. Oh, no, she's going to break it apart. Oh, no, she just took it out. That's good. At least she took it out of the bowl. Look at that's not how you cook these things. That is not me cooking for my blue-collar husband. Holy shit. All right, look what she's got going on. She's just going to let that. Here's what she's got going on. She's pretty cute. She's cute. Like if my son brought her home, I'd be like, you did good, son. No, you did good, son. I'm not loving the half blonde, half black, but still, the body looks very promising, and her stoic, fuck you kind of personality seems to be something that's connecting with me. So she isn't a terrible looking woman if she's your wife, but you can't cook like this. What is that? Salt. Look at all of this salt that she is pouring on top of this frozen pot pie that she's got frying in a frying pan on a skanky ass stove. Oh, that is a lot of salt. All right. Now she's fried. Okay, so she's taking that out. Now she just got what? She is frying eggs in the skanky Crisco that was just used to fry a frozen pot pie. More copious amounts of salt. Good Lord. She's lucky she's got a great rack. Look at her. She's got a great rack, so you might overlook this. Oh, my God. She's looking around. She's like, okay, so you got a half-cooked, frozen in the middle pot pie, and now some skanky-ass fried eggs. Me cooking for my blue collar. And now ketchup. Ketchuping the whole fucking thing. Guys, come on. Am I being a misogynist when I say that is not wifely behavior? And she's trying to kill that guy. That is a woman who does not know how to cook and yet somehow felt confident enough to make a TikTok video where she's showing herself. Ugh. April agrees with me. April says, first off, that stove is so gross. I can't cook in a dirty kitchen. No, me neither. Me neither. That is but I've worked in kitchens. So I think that when you work in a kitchen, you become used to the protocols of the kitchen, which is you clean up immediately after everything. I want my kitchen to be so clean that I can put chicken breasts on the counter. Hopefully you don't do that, but that's what I'm talking. You know what I mean? I want everything constantly to be cleaned where I'm working. And I know the compulsion there is after you're done eating to just leave the mess, but no, you got to clean as you go. That's the trick. That's the restaurant way. Clean as you go. Let's see. Adam says, are you sure this isn't parody? I don't know. Are you sure you're not a buzzkill? I know he's having fun and this is kind of entertaining. He's just riffing, but I want to point out to everybody that he's being duped here. Hi, I'm Adam. I ruin everything that people have fun with. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Of course it is. But pointing it out in this moment speaks to your level of, a need to be superior, which has always been my problem with Adam. It is shocking that I love him so much. All right, what else do we have here? That's one video of a really bad wife doing bad wife stuff. Hold on, Google has signed me out, as they're wont to do from time to time. Oh, hold on. All right, so we got that one. Hold on, let me do this real quick. We're going to show another video. And this next one's funny. It's going to open up a whole bunch of things for us to talk about. All right, here we go. Very good. All right, so here's the second video that I want to share with you. This is another example of what I call just terrible wife. Terrible wifing. All right, so this one, I guess this one doesn't really need any kind of a setup, so I'm just going to show it to you. But I have to ask you, I want you to think about this. Have you ever done this? Has this ever happened to you? Because it did happen to me, and it freaked me out. I had no idea. that this is what happened if this kind of situation were to occur. All right, so here we go. Let's watch this. This is another example of a bad wife, and we'll break out why she's a bad wife. She's not a bad wife for what she's done. She's a bad wife because of the way she reacts to it once it's pointed out. Here you go. This is bad wife number 2. Gas pump lady.
What did you do?
Why are you guys laughing?
What did you do?
I don't know what I did.
You broke the pump. Look, you got.
Well, next time you put gas. Why you have me doing it? You're the man. You should be doing it.
You're the stubborn one, hard-headed.
Man, what kind of man are you?
I told you I was gonna do it.
Okay, all right. So let me point out what's happening here, and I'm going to ask a couple of questions for you. So first of all, it's quite obvious that Mom went and got gas, forgot to pull the gas hose out of the car, and just drove off. Now, as I said, I didn't know that this happened until about 20 years ago. About 20 years ago, I accidentally did this. Actually, I've seen it happen once, and I've accidentally done this. I saw it happen. The first time I ever saw this happen, it shattered their back window. They pulled away, and the gas thing, it came out. It didn't break from the hose. There's a connector there that will break off. So you will just drive off with the nozzle. You won't cause gas to go, you won't cause that kind of a thing. But I saw it happen once where somebody pulled off and the actual hose came out of the side, popped up and went through the back window, like with force, just shattered the back window. That was like, whoa. This happened to me once though as well. I pulled off and I knew immediately. You don't get 15 feet before you're like, oh, fuck. And then you see this clank and you hear it and there's a big noise. And then there was a light. There was a light on top of the gas pump, a red light that started to spin. And I'm like, oh, I'm the asshole. I did this. So I took the thing out and I walked it in and I gave it to the guy and I got in my car and I left before they could charge me for it because I'm sure there's some kind of charge for this. All right, so she did it. She pulled away after not putting the gas pump back in the gas. What is it called? That is called the gas pump. This is the nozzle. Okay. She drove away with the nozzle still attached to the gas tank in the car. She did not take the nozzle and return it to its cradle in the gas pump. So this is what happened. It breaks. And this is how they're designed. It breaks and you will drive all the way home and not notice until you get in. Now let's watch one more time as she pulls into her family driveway.
What did you do?
Why are you guys laughing?
See, she has no idea. She doesn't know. And they're all laughing at her. And this woman doesn't have much control of her ego. She gets very insecure when people laugh at her and she lashes out in very, very unattractive way.
What did you
I don't know
do?
what I did.
Still doesn't know what she did.
You broke the pump. Look, you got.
All right, now she's looking and she's accidentally accelerating her car. That's good.
You broke the pump. Look, you got.
So now what she should do in this moment is she should go, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Oh my God. And then laugh along with them. But she doesn't because she's not a well-developed emotional person. Instead, she sees this as an attack on her very being. So she instinctively tries to make it somebody else's fault in the most absurd way possible. It's not her fault. It's his fault for, let's listen.
Well, next time you put gas. Why you have me doing it? You're the man. You should be doing it.
You're the stubborn one, hard-headed.
Man, what kind of man are you?
I told you I was gonna do it
What
later.
kind of man are you? You should have been doing that.
And
Not
I
me.
told you I was gonna do it
Now
later.
look what happened.
That's your fault. Don't blame me for that.
I blame you.
She blames him. There you go. All right. I'll tell you, I don't know if she can cook. I still think that the first wife that was cooking the pot pie and the Crisco with the eggs, I still think she's worse. Well, she looked hotter. I don't know which one is better for me. I don't know. Let me ask this question, because I have a very strong opinion on this. And again, this is very trad. I guess that's something that we're saying now. It's very traditional. But I think that things are traditions because they've been proven to be fairly good ideas over the generations. That's why things become traditional. I think men should pump gas. I think that if you are with your woman, first of all, well, I've got another thing that's pretty trad, but okay. I'm not as married to that one as I am this take. I think that if you're with your woman and you pull into a gas station and you aren't the one that gets out and pumps the gas, I think you're a pussy. I think that I just don't think, I think it's a dirty thing. And, there's no difference between men and women. Yeah, there are. In my universe, there's a difference between men and women. I take the garbage out. I get stinky and gross. She gets to stay nice and clean and smell good, feminine. She gets to be all of those things. Oh, you're just such a traditionalist. No, I'm not. I just think that pumping gas sucks. And it's a physical thing. It is a physical thing. And if we're going to believe, as I do, that men are just physically superior, not by opinion, but just by bone density and average height and weight and size and power, then yeah, we should do these things. We should do these things. And besides, sometimes you get gas on you and you smell like gasoline for the next 2 hours. Yeah, a woman doesn't. You don't need. She's going to be pretty. She's wearing perfume. Men don't wear perfume. If a dude walks into work smelling like stale beer and gasoline, people are like, "What's up, Bob?" If a woman does, it's like, what's going on with her? So I think that men should always pump the gas. Now, does that mean that if your wife is out there or your girlfriend is out there on her own, she should? No, of course she's capable of pumping gas. I'm just saying that in the moment, if it's a guy and a girl. I had a friend. He's dead now, but I had a friend who used to just do this thing for his wife. And we were all sitting around at dinner once, and it came up, and every other husband at the table just got endless shit from their wives or their girlfriends or who they were with when we found out what this dude does. My friend Mike, weekly, every week he would come home from his job at work to find his wife's car in the driveway, and he would, before going into the house, take her car to the local gas station every Friday and fill it up with gas for her because he just wanted to make sure that she always had a full tank of gas. That's fucking nice. That is really nice. And I had never thought about that. And neither had any other dudes at the dinner that night. They're like, okay, now I guess we got to do this. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you. Now apparently I'll be gassing up my wife's car. Does it have to be Friday? Can it be Saturday afternoon? Well, not during college football season, but can it be Saturdays? Then I'll do it on Saturdays. Anyway. Let's see here. Do we have any other videos? Mike is in the chat room. Mike says, I used to hang out with an absolute smoke show in Atlanta, and she was meeting me at my hotel so we could go out to dinner, and she pulled up dragging the gas pump hose and had no idea. It happens. I've seen it. Going back to the first video, Peter says, I feel bad for the egg in that video. Can I ask you guys something about that? Because I don't do that. Like, I love fried eggs. But I make fried eggs in butter. I use butter. That's how we were a butter family. But baby bacon grease. Bacon grease is preferred, but you can't always have bacon. Crisco? Is that a thing? Do people fry eggs in Crisco? That sounds like I'm a fat middle-aged guy who grew up drinking an 8-pack of pop and a bag of Doritos every day of his life. That sounds gross to me. That sounds incredibly unhealthy. Eggs in Crisco, huh? Does it fry the yolk? Because I like a runny yolk. I like, if I'm going to make a fried egg, I need toast for that runny yolk. That's part of the whole deal. All right. What else? What else do we have here? Peter says that he did this once. He says, I'm guilty of doing this, driving off with the gas pump still in the tank. I immediately went around the parking lot and put it back in the pump and hauled ass. Yeah, nobody wants to stick around for that humiliation. And that's kind of a double-edged sword. You've got to decide there. That's an ego thing, because it is very humiliating to walk back up to the mini-mart attendant or whatever, holding the broken thing that you just dumbassedly pulled away with. You're like, hey, I'm a moron. And then they look at you, this person whose life has obviously set him in the place where he's working the night shift at a urban gas station. And he's looking down on you like you've made some poor choices in your life. And you're like, yep, sure have. One of them was pulling away before checking to make sure I didn't have the pump in my tank. So that's hard to deal with. But you do want to haul ass. I don't want to stick around. Is there a charge for this? I don't know. I'm going to leave this here. And then you can't go to that gas station ever again, ever. I don't care. Oh, and doesn't that suck? Because this is more than likely going to occur at your neighborhood gas station, the one that is so convenient that you go to for everything. Nope. Can't go back. You got to find a new 7-Eleven gas station. You got to go to the one on the other side of town. And then when you're driving with your kids and they're like, why do you go to this one? You're going to have to make up some lie. Because you ain't going to tell your 9-year-old daughter, well, daddy's a fucking moron who pulled away with the nozzle still in his gas tank. Thank you, Peter. All right, guys, that's going to do it. We appreciate you hanging out with us. We're going to be back here tomorrow. Oh, wait, Barney says this. Barney's a good man. Barney says, I don't have it scheduled, but I usually fill up my wife's car on the weekend, but I'll also let her pump gas on trips while I go in the store for drinks and such. Nope. Come on, Barney. I mean, unless you guys are fine with it, that's fine. You and your wife probably been married a long time. You got this whole thing down, so I got no criticism for you. I guess that's fine. But I am talking about, like, if you're newly dating somebody or not, whatever, you're in a relationship. I mean, one of the things you got to do is make sure that she knows that you are going to be aware of the shit that she isn't going to want to do and that you're willing to take up some of that. Like, hey, all right, I'm going to jump out and pump gas. How much you want me to put in? Something like that. Or if you really want to be a pimp, you pay for it yourself. You jump out first and pay it. If she doesn't say thank you, or if it's something that she expects, you got to get out of that relationship. Got to get out of it. All right, that's going to do it for today's show, folks. We are out of stuff to talk about. That was a good 2-hour stream of consciousness rant. I love you guys. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Oh, by the way, also, I'm going to do it one more time. If you haven't already, help out the show. The business model is imploding, and yours truly is going through some stuff because of it. So if you can, please do. And if you can't, say a prayer for your boy, because it's a struggle. Love you. See you tomorrow at noon. Bye.